Kung titingnan natin yung mga rallies nung Sunday, talagang galit na galit yung mga tao. And obvious naman, karamihan sa mga politiko, lavish yung lifestyle, perhaps living beyond their means. Meron tayong code of conduct and ethical standards for public officials and employees. Pero ang point ko, ano ba mga pwedeng gawin dito para mapanagot itong mga official na ito? Nakitang-kita naman na pinaparading ka nilang yaman, hindi tumatalima dito sa batas patungkol sa lavish lifestyle.
Our ombudsman is asleep on the wheel eh. Yan ang problema eh. May salin sila. You can easily compare the salin. Tapos, kung yung salin, biglang, but from one year to another, tumaas ka agad yung wealth nila, congressman lang sila. What would account for that? There's no investigation at all. Maghihintay, very reactive ang position ng ombudsman. Kung wala nag-complain, hindi kami kikilos. Parang, our laws are really so protective of the incumbents. Even if you say that we have anti-corruption laws, they're honored in the breach rather than the observance. That's a problem with us. And yung sinabi kanina ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan, nobody has been imprisoned.
Yeah.
That's even Senator Dillon said that in another interview, that nobody gets jailed. Yan ang problema. And I'll tell you this, one of the last things that we wanted to reform in the time of Pinoy, because we had to reform the economy, we had to reform the executive branch, our last part was the judicial branch. That was the next phase. We had our candidate won the 2016 election, that would have been the next phase of our reform program. Because really our judicial branch is also festered with the Supreme Court to really investigate corruption also within the judiciary. It's common knowledge kasi alam naman yan eh. That's why ang problema, hindi mo na, kaya walang natatakot, walang kinakasuhan, at saka hindi parang paper ano lang ang mga natin, ang mga batas natin dito sa pagdating sa corruption eh. Ang lakas-lakas ng kaso, biglang nawawala. Bilang humihina.
Yeah, tsaka base rin sa karanasan nyo sa pork barrel scam, di ba, ng 2013. Ito yung lagi ko binabanggit eh. Ito yung pork barrel moment ni Bongbong Marcos eh. Kung si Pinoy, ito yung biggest issue niya in 2013, di ba, in terms of corruption. At may mga kinasuhan, di ba, malalaking mga pangalan. Yung problema, may mga nakulong sandali, pero nakalabas. Ito naman yung pork barrel moment ni Bongbong Marcos, and he needs to show that people would really go to jail. Diba, when it comes to holding people accountable. Although kanina medyo mabilis yata action ng AMLAC, no? Sinabi ni Secretary Remulla na frozen na lang yung assets itong sina Joel Villanueva, Jinggoy, Zaldico et al, diba? Yung ganyan. Ito pala, learning from your experiences sa pork barrel controversy, ano ba dapat yung mga reformang nagawa para kahit paano siguro naiwasan itong laki ng korupsyon na pinag-uusapan natin ngayon?
Alam mo, Christian, ang problema talaga sa legislature is, so we know that their main function is to make laws. But at the same time, and this was also explained by Butch yesterday, kahapon sa program mo, na sila rin nagde-deliver ng mga projects sa constituency nila, sa distrito nila. That part of their work is not shown in the light. Hindi siya transparent. Di ba? That's why yung mga palabi-labi dyan, tapos yung sa small committee, yung bicameral committee, wala talagang minutes. Kaya ang habol ngayon dyan ito talagang malaking scandal talaga ito. No? And I hope the legislators themselves would put rail guards na talaga. One of the pinaka-importanting guardrails, ang pinaka-importanting guardrails really is transparency. Lahat may minutes yan. Walang tinatago. Lahat yan dapat all transparent lahat yan. Look, I spoke to Laila de Lima last week. Very few have a copy of the 2024 BICAM report. Hanggang ngayon, wala pa. Yung BICAM report pala ang sinabi sa akin ni Laila, ang laki-laki niyan, pero ayaw ilabas ng officials ng House. Secretariat refuses to release that. Although you may have removed Speaker Martin Romualdez, the people around the Speaker right now are the same officials who were part of the last Congress. So, hindi pa nire-release yung mga BICAM reports. nakakakuha lang siya dahil na photocopy, pero dapat yan public official documents, nilalabas kaagad. Ang takot nga nila kasi malalaman talaga yung yung baho talaga, yung cost ng lahat ito. But even the small committee, wala tayong record. Sabi nila, walang BICAM records. I'm sorry, small committee record. Kaya pinapatawag si Grace po, pinapatawag si Saldi, di ba? Si Cheese nag-attend, si Martin hindi siya nag-attend. So those are the things na ang kailangan mo lang talaga transparency. Pinagyayabang niya pag mga committee hearings, open yan. Di, maganda tingnan, makikita mo. Pero afterward, yung mga ibang mga committee nila, walang minutes. Yun talaga, that part of the Congress is really done in the dark eh.
Kung seryoso itong mga legislators natin, Senate at saka House, in terms of cooperating dito sa investigation, ito napakasimple. Ba't nyo ilabas kung sino yung mga nag-insert during the BICAM level tsaka sa small committee? Isa-isa. Pangalan ng senador, pangalan ng kongresista, ito yung insertion niya.
The transcripts currently, ngayon, walang ganun nga eh. That's why, hinahabol nga ni Ping Lacson from every stage, from the start to the finish, should be mentioned. Who is the sponsor of this? Who is the sponsor of that? Ang sinasabi naman ni Sherwin Gatchalian, medyo complicated kasi minsan may isang insertion, maraming nagsasuggest or nagpo-propose. Eh di isama mo lahat ng pangalan nila. Di ba?
Hindi, pero yan, I think mas applicable yan doon sa dung pag nasa plenary pa sila eh. Pero pagdating sa BICAM, tsaka doon sa small committee, na sila nag-uusap, alam nila kung sino nag-insert eh.
Correct.
Diba, maglolokohan pa ba tayo dito na hindi ko alam kung sino nag-insert yan? Si Toby Chanko nakakuha ng listahan, di ba? Tapos pinigilan dun sa house na i-present yung kanyang flash drive. O kasi Toby Chanko na ang ingay-ingay, na tila walang kakampi sa house, nakakuha ng kopya o nakakuha ng ganun detalye. How much more yung mga nando sa leadership positions?
That's the whole leadership is in cahoots with the whole process.
I knew you would use that term.
It's really the challenge is to really reform. You know, it's not enough that you reform, you replace the speaker. You have to replace everyone because it's a sign of the lack of confidence in the present leadership. The leadership is not just one person. It's the whole. They have given the House an even worse name. It's not as it is already. It has a bad connotation. How much more right now it has been enmeshed in such the worst corruption scandal in legislative history. At saka, by the way, kaya nga malaki rin ang budget sa 2025. Remember, this is an election budget. Ang akala natin, ang laki ng labas na pera sa AKAP and all that. Yan pala, unbeknownst to yun sa flood control. And by the way, I told you, kausap ko si Butch. Ang sabi niya, insertions, yung sa, I don't know kung nasabi niya kahapon, parang yung flood control, parang 20 or 30% lang ng lahat na insertions. So maraming hindi pa na siguro some of the insertions are valid, but marami doon. Dapat kalkalin talaga yung mga insertions na yan. So, ang daming, it's a process that is really riddled with a certainty to make money. Parang your opportunity to make money is there, especially if you have a devilish mind to make money. Diba? Parang you're the fox who guards the chicken coop. Parang ganun. That's our pain that we have right now. That's why mabuti na talagang nagalit ang taong bayan. The House and the Senate are under siege. And again, I'll use the word leverage. It's now time for us to leverage and pressure the House and the Senate. It's enough of what you've been doing. You have to change your ways, come up with proper procedures, and not just reactive post-corruption laws, post-corruption guardrails. Dapat yung during the whole process, dapat may guardrails ka na para hindi na maulit itong kabulastugan na to.